What is going out? What is going on, everybody? Yeah, this has been a cluster F of working off a little MacBook Pro on this thing to do this, and I've been working. We're building a computer to handle this for the next stream and future streams. Now, if Danny would get on the stream, we'll be better. Yes, back for round 2. Let's give Danny a nudge here. Sorry, boys and ladies. See if we can get Danny to actually appear. Hey, Dan, you coming on the stream? All right, I was just double checking in case you fell asleep. Uh-oh. Well, Danny's coming, everybody. I promise. All right, man. Yes. Can you guys hear me all right? Everything cool here so far? Somebody was like, Marty just said that chat was disabled, but I see people chatting with me. Once again, this problem next week and beyond is solved, and we're good to go. What's up, Andrew? What's up, Jeff? Hopefully you guys are doing all right today. I apologize for the I'm just not as professional as Tim is, Jeff, at doing this just yet. And sorry, I'm answering a mail here. Oh, people can't get in. Sweet. Glad the audio's good. Like I said, Danny will be in just a second. But what is going on in everybody's neighborhood tonight, man? We are. I've been busy, busy with the podcast all freaking weekend. Let's see, I did, I think 4 videos this weekend to drop in the next week or 2. And it's crazy. What's up, Ronald? Nice, dude. All good here. Marty, everybody's chatting except you, man. I don't know what the deal is on that one, man. It says you can hear me, but I don't know. Let's see. Little tinfoily. I have that covered, guys. Once again, I don't know. You'll see the mic, my professional mic that I do audio with. I can't use any of that right now with my MacBook. It's just a pain in the butt. I'm sure you guys can hear the little fan processing this on your end. It's like giving it everything it's got. It's like my Juke when I got into it this weekend. It was giving me everything she had. Let's see. Nice, Jeff. Nice, man. Well, we definitely promote it. Tim, Mr. Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk is in the house. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for joining in. There you go, Marty. Marty made it in. Carrie Beasley made it in. Carrie's got to return to the office tomorrow. Carrie, is that truly a bad thing? I don't know. I know my wife would hate that. Anyways, what is going up in the truck world, man? I want to talk to Danny about this. Big news, and I'm sure my buddy Tim there I shared your post about it, but the Detroit Auto Show has been postponed or canceled. I didn't get a chance to read the article, but the major North American auto show is now, where they're going to have it is now basically a hospital for all the people in Detroit. So that place is huge. So, hopefully everything goes well. What's up, Daddy's Emperor Trump? Wouldn't expect anything less, sir. What is up, Frontier Life? Frontier Life in the house. That is awesome. That is very awesome. Let's see. Somebody just texted me. Oh. Anyways. So yeah, the Detroit Auto Show, man, that's like the major, and I was pretty bummed about it. I had my application in to go to that one. Don't know whether we got to. That's the one picky one that's hard to get into. So don't know if I got into it or not, but still I had plans on attending that one because I think Nissan had big plans. And I know right now in the automotive industry in general, everybody is scrambling on how to launch vehicles, because it's not just Nissan that was launching vehicles. You had the baby Bronco, or whatever they're calling Bronco Sport now. The Bronco was supposed to be launched already. You had Nissan has the Rogue and the Pathfinder, which was going to happen in the New York Auto Show. So, and that's just a couple of the brands, man. Their PR teams right now are scrambling. How do they launch these vehicles? Because in a few weeks, maybe a month, that auto manufacturing kicks back in, and they're going to be building these vehicles, man. So they were, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let's see. What did you miss? Agent Hutchins, you haven't missed anything yet, because I've been an idiot trying to get this to work right. Once again, this is the last. I've got a tower over there, a PC tower I've been building for this, and my last part comes in, I think, Tuesday, and then we're up and running with that, and it's the last piece of the pie for the new podcast studio. So, Ronald, 2020 expectations video. I have a 5 things that the Nissan Frontier is going to have to be competitive video coming out. My buddy Tim over there at Pickup Truck Talk and SUV keeps nudging me to get that one done. He's curious about my take on the Frontier, and it's coming, guys. Like I said, while the weather, we've had such crazy weather here in Middle Tennessee. Any chance I got to go outside this weekend to film outside content, I needed to do it. So it put that video, unfortunately, on hold just for a little bit. The script's wrote. It's ready to go. I just need time to sit down and record it, Ronald. But it's coming, man, and so is that Frontier, man. Right now, me and Tim have talked about this. I think if there is this fall, if there's the Texas State Fair, that's when you're going to see that truck, Ronald. Let's see. Yes, I see those on Marty. I see those ads all the time on YouTube, man. Ford is smart. They are sharp, and it's not just for that. I'll see them go. If you're looking for the Chevrolet, whatever, Silverado, look at the F-150 or whatever they've got. It's crazy. It's crazy. Eclipse 1126. Beautiful day in Murfreesboro. Of course it is, dude. We are in Murfreesboro. What's up, Brandon? Like I said, Danny's over here. He's scrambling trying to get his cables together. What he said, his daughters had hidden something from him. So, and I know Danny just came back from a long camping trip. So, Ronald, dude, thank you so much, guys. I want to say thank you to everybody that's done these super chats, man. It's funded building the computer that I was building for this, and it's funding getting Danny out here to go to Atlanta, and it's going to fund some parts for the Juke that's coming. The Juke that's in my driveway. I've been talking to the agent there about some parts that I want to put on that vehicle. So that is coming. And when you guys do these super chats and stuff, man, I do appreciate it. It does mean a lot. We get a small percentage of our funding from ad revenue, but when you guys do the super chats, it helps out so much, man. So I do appreciate that, Ronald. You are a good man, and hopefully, Ronald, you get off that boat soon, man. I know you're still kind of stuck there in the Hawaiian Islands on your cruise ship, buddy. But hopefully you get off that, man. Tim, are we trading super chats now? So tomorrow when you do your super chat, I'm gonna have to one up you, dude. If you guys haven't yet, go to my buddy Pickup Truck and SUV Talk. Go to Tim's live feed tomorrow. I assume you're having one tomorrow. It's around this time, I believe, and come join the chat, man. We have a bunch Jeff Cornetti there, and a few of you guys join in, and we have a fun chat, man. And I like to help out my fellow YouTuber and somebody that's just killing it right now. I think the Pickup Truck and SUV Talk is over 26,000 subs now. It's ridiculous, man. Let's see, Brandon. Do I think the 2020 Frontier will ever make it to dealer lots? I knew that was coming up, man. Oh, Danny, are you joining in the chat now, Dan? Do I think the 2020 truck is gonna hit? I do eventually, but is Nissan? Nissan has this thing with their release times. It's always bad timing. You know, the Gen 2 Frontier came out and the Xterra came out in 05, but by 08 we're deep in recession. and it basically killed Xterra sales, killed Frontier sales for a long time too, until about 11 or 12 they started bouncing back. Oh, dude, NPC patch, Mike. Nope, in the house, dude. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate that a lot. But I do think the 2020 is coming. TFL Truck did a product or a testing of it. They actually got really good mileage out of it, and I've been bugging Nissan to get me one, but the problem being is nobody's at HQ right now. So Canton was starting to build those. So I know the one that I seen in Chicago was an 11 of 19 build, so it was a trial version. It was probably a PT2 version, which means the one that they're tested in Colorado was a finished product. So they showed the stamping on the door, and it was January of 20. So they've been building them. The plants have only been shut down for a week now, so they're building them. And I know when I worked for Nissan, we would build. Truckline at the time was building about 500 trucks a day, and 3/4 of those were Frontiers, and that was when we had Pathfinder, the R51 Pathfinder on the line, and the Xterra on the line. So they can easily build 500 of those things a day, and they'll start hitting dealers if dealers are still around. I would say, let's see, this is March, into March. I would say end of April, but what really is bad about that, it kills the window that they had with that truck to sell it. And it's just Nissan's bad luck when they release stuff. It's always the timing, it never works out. Let me check a couple of these others, make sure I haven't missed anything. Brandon says hi. Let's see. Frontier. Eclipse says Frontier. Sad face. All bets are off. Yes, that is true. That is true. Let's see. Did I miss anything early on? I think we're kind of close to it. Let's see, Marty. I have to check on that. Let's see. Where was Marty? It's getting crazy out there. Anyone else seen the Ford commercial? Yes, I have seen that. We just talked about it. Guys are nuts with the super chats. Once again, I appreciate it so much. I see Danny's in the chat. So if you have any questions for Danny, I don't know what what's going on. Let's see. Agent Hutchins, second round layoffs packages for the senior staff 52 plus is well underway. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I think with the CV thing, they won't even get to return to the office. Oh, we got Danny coming in. Let me see if it pops up right. Let's see if Dan pops in here. Maybe, Danny. Give me just a second. Simple Dave here is oh, it look like you're in, Dan. So far, there you'll catch up to the stream here in just a second, maybe. Let's see. I see you on one screen. Now there he is. There's Danny, everybody. Danny with a new background tonight. Let's see. Let me finish this question, Dan. I'll get to you. Let's see. What was my thoughts on the 0-60 time for the 2020 Frontier that TFL tested? It did seem a little slow, and I want to comment on these guys are sharp, man. TFL is sharp. Don't get me wrong. They are one of the best YouTuber review channels out there. Why in the world was Andre testing it in 4-wheel drive, trying to up his takeoff times? It's a pickup truck. It's not an all-wheel drive Subaru, for God's sakes. Danny, did you see that, where they did that? He did it one in 2-wheel drive, then one in 4-wheel drive.
I mean, I guess maybe this. I don't know. I mean, it's not like the 2-wheel drive, you're burning the tires off it, lacking massive traction, right? So the 4-wheel drive was a little odd. I mean, it'd be interesting if you were just kind of curious. Like, if I was to do a pull in 4 low in like maybe an 1/8 mile, like versus a 2-wheel drive or something like that, maybe just to see the difference, you know. But I wasn't 100% sure what that was all about.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me, man. And these guys they should know better on that. And I'm not calling them out like they're idiots by any means, because once again, these guys are some of the best in the business. But it just didn't. I was sitting there when I saw that, and I was like, what is he doing? And far as Spencer, as far as the takeoff times on them, their guys are, for one, they're in altitude, and not just any altitude. They're well over a mile high there, so you know that truck's sucking air to do anything. That's why I was impressed with the mileage, Dan. Did you see they averaged 22.5 in a 60-mile round trip?
Yeah, that's really taken a big step for, and of course, you know, it's a totally stock truck. I'm sure they're driving it pretty normally. You know, it's not towing anything. There's no payload. There's no nothing going on with it. So, you know, I compare it to my truck, but it has nothing. It's nothing to do with my truck at the moment, because my truck has big tires. It's got all kinds of extra weight in it. You know, it's no longer aerodynamic, et cetera, et cetera. But
right.
That's good gas mileage. That's the same gas mileage as my 4-cylinder little Frontier that I bought.
Yeah, I was impressed with it. The best I ever did in my 12 Pro 4X was I got 21 one time. But once I changed to a heavier tire, and that was completely factory. Even when I lifted it, that didn't change. But once I put the MK6 wheels on it and the BF Goodrich, the 32 KOs on it, that's when I saw a decrease, and I went down to about 19 on my 20-mile round trip, or 20-mile per trip average. So 22 in that thing, that was pretty impressive. I would like to see at a lower altitude what that truck really could do, though.
Yeah, I agree. For reference, my truck on 33s with sliders and extra bumper and skid plates and stuff like that, I'm usually getting about 16 or 17.
Yeah. I will say,
on average,
as we're touching on this TFL thing, I will say that the first video they did was like a rush. It was like me going a live video out there, like I'm scrambling to hold the camera, and it was a little odd. And I know they wanted to be the first, basically, to get that truck out there, but you were beating nobody. There was nobody. The only truck that I know of that Press has right now is in Colorado. I don't know who they were scrambling to beat there.
It was more of a teaser, in my opinion, than anything. Hey, by the way, we have this. You'll see more soon, and here's some of the changes. You know.
Yeah. Let's see, Tim, pickup truck talk and SUV or plus SUV talk. Tim, you need your name is a tongue twister. I don't know. They never announced premium fuels on that thing for the horsepower. I would be curious about that, since me and you've talked about with the 400 horsepower in the Titan for premium fuel. It's direct injected. I would say that, depending on how they time it, it would make a big difference with that. Let's see. Sorry, Danny, I'm throwing off here just a little bit. I'm trying to catch up with some of our chats. Ronald, once again, dude, thank you for that super chat, man.
Oh, thanks, brother.
Danny, I love your color coordination tonight, man. The khaki tan hat with the surfer shirt looking thing.
It's a tan hat, so you can't totally hate on it. But I just got done with a little run. I was sitting in the car a lot today and over the weekend, kind of laying around, camping out. So I had to go stretch the legs a little bit. So I just got back from a run this afternoon.
Right. Well, as I'm scanning through there, the questions, they're all excited that Danny popped in. Good. It was a GTR. Should have done it with. Spencer says they should have done it with traction control off, which I thought they did do a launch with traction control off. And with the locker, maybe, I don't know. I mean, the locker only engages in 4 low, so you're not going to get any cool 0 to 60 times like that. Let's see. Brandon, I don't think their 0 to 60 times are even relevant at elevation. Yes, I would agree with that. I would think, Danny, you at basically 0 elevation would be the best place to get a 0 to 60 time.
Yeah, I'm like a couple hundred feet above sea level, so it would probably be ideal for sure.
Yeah, so that truck ain't huffing. Let's see, Tim, I answered the question about the premium fuel. Let's see. They're talking to each other, man. Let's see. Yes, yes, pickup truck plus SUV talk. Yes, they always do have to be the first. And I was amazed in, and this isn't a rag on TFL because I really do like those guys and respect those guys a lot. I was amazed how quickly they were trying to get in the back of when they were going to preview the 2020 Frontier, and they're giving everybody drinks, and they had the area closed. Like, Andre couldn't wait to get into the back of so they could even just be the first to get back there. And I'm like, look, man, there's 200 journalists here. I don't think, like, I literally had my video like they did. We had our impression video. Once I got the press release from Nissan, I had it ready to launch at 7 p.m. that night. So you couldn't launch anything any quicker. But those guys always do have to be the first. And, you know, good for them, man. They've worked the system, and it's worked out for them. Let's see. Joe Taylor, do you think Nissan would do an online reveal of the Rogue, Pathfinder, and Frontier? Danny, before you got on here, I was bringing this up. So every auto manufacturer right now is scrambling. How do they launch vehicles? Because Nissan's not the only one that has vehicles to get launched. Like, there are several companies that had big vehicles. The Bronco, for one, Bronco Sport, that were ready to launch.
That was the huge game. That was like, if you were anywhere near social media or any kind of race event or something like that, that thing's been getting leaked pictures everywhere. Everybody's talking about waiting for that. That was the big one that got pushed off. That everybody's like, oh my goodness.
Right, and it was supposed to have been 2 weeks ago. I think Ford was going to release it.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, with you see some stocks falling and stuff like. I have one Ford stock. For some reason, I picked one Ford stock up for joining some trading app or something like that. But
right.
So now I see Ford stock, and I was thinking along the line when that. Their first quarter is always going to be low. That's usually low for Ford, and then they make it up in the second and third quarter. So I was thinking, you know what, they're going to drop this. They're going to drop this Bronco, and they're going to see, a slight rise in stocks, and that's going to kind of catapult their name, brand, image, and stuff. They're really going to play off that whole marketing scheme to get them going. So I think that's going to hurt them really big time, and I think that's going to transfer over to other makes and models as well.
Right. Now, I don't know what to think of it anymore. I mean, obviously, nobody can predict, these global events. It's not like you, auto manufacturers especially, prepare for this. Like, they're just, here's, Lord knows our country seems like sometimes doesn't have a plan for how to handle it, let alone the fighting between governors, between our president and everything else. Like, that's like reality TV there. Like, I usually look for about 1 p.m. when they're all going to start coming on. It's like reality TV, Danny. So, auto manufacturers are just sitting here scrambling, like, and now they're being called into making actual parts, like ventilators and stuff like that, and which even delays everything even more.
Yeah. It's going to be, it's an interesting time, and, I don't know how extreme that's going to affect production manufacturing, but I guess we'll see. I'm going to watch my one Ford stock go from $4 to $5 to who knows what.
Well, they got this week. They were rated as a junk stock. they went from just a negative to junk now. Like, Ford is interesting to me in that because they didn't take bailout money in 8 and 9. Though they could have and probably should have at the time, but they hug it out, and they were smart and sold off a bunch of things like Jaguar and Land Rover, and right before it seemed like the kind of crap hit the fan. But they're in an interesting company right now. People really pick on Nissan, and because Nissan's been making the headlines with the Carlos Ghosn thing and the movie style Escape that he did, and the damage that gentleman's done to the company, but Ford, they just retired their CEO. Rumor has it, and Tim with pickup trucks might know better, but supposedly it was like a forced retirement. The Bronco, you've got that, which is going to be a big hit for them, but who knows when that comes out. F-150's due for a refresh. And poor Nissan's over here going, hey man, we just launched a 2020 Titan, and they just were hitting showroom floors, like maybe 3 weeks before all this crap hit the fan. Danny, our automotive world is going nuts right now.
Yeah, it's not stable by any means. And I was driving by a Chevy dealership, and they had a big sign that says, "We deliver cars to you,
yes.
Buy online," and stuff like that. 360-degree tours of all their cars and stuff like that. They're doing whatever they can to try and sell cars, but at the same time, it's they're so limited. So there's going to definitely be some kind of crazy impacts going on in car sales for the time being.
They
and
are.
Like you said, the 2020 Titan was supposed to be, it's just starting to hit showroom floors, and I think they were banking a little bit on that to help them push and to refresh their brand and their image with this new truck that is that motor's a proven motor. They're not going to have any problems with that.
Right.
It's just new to the Titan, and I think they're really proud of that 9-speed transmission. So I think they're really pushing to make sure that had a good start and started moving units, and that's going to be a real downer for them right now, not because of what it is, but because of the market.
Well, yeah, and like you were saying, man, they're like, hey, we can do all this paper signing virtually now and all this stuff, and it's like, I'm one of the, usually my professional industry as a land surveyor, engineer, like usually I'm the first to get hit with the downturns because suddenly housing gets stopped, and and when that happens, that's a big chunk of my industry is construction. So it's odd now the way that it's the service industry that's taken the first hit, which normally they'll take a hit, but not like this. But there's money out there to buy cars. The president said they're going to give, whatever the amount is. We're supposed to get a check for that and maybe a second check. I don't know. I'm trying not to follow that too hard just because I have gray hairs enough. I don't need any more worrying about that, Danny. But so there's still money. People are still working. I know there was 3.5 million laid off this past week or hit the unemployment line, but people are working. It's just, you think they're just holding on to their money, and of course it's hard to get out right now and go actually shop, or what is the deal?
Well, I think a lot of people are unsure, whether even if a company was doing great and it's a possibility of a bonus. Like my wife, she was thinking that she may have been getting a bonus in August, but she's not sure where how well the company's going to do over the next 6 months or whatever. So it's kind of a freeze on plans. You don't know where things are going. You don't know how bad things are going to get. So you kind of freeze in place.
Right.
And everybody's just kind of treading water right now.
Right.
I think there's a lot of people obviously that are getting laid off, or basically just saying, hey, we don't know what's going to happen. We have no work for you. We have to close.
Right. Well, but with it to me, it just struck home of the service industry. And when I met my wife Kelly, she was a waitress. I mean, she was going to school, finishing up her degree and all that, and was a waitress. And I can't imagine now, the tip money. I know that's what a lot of them. Maybe this makes a change, and I know this sounds like we're kind of getting out there, but a lot of servers they make $2 something an hour, and they rely on tip money. I'm assuming now this is going to force some changes. I really see this is going to force a lot of changes too. That people start working from home more, which I'm sure you in LA. I bet you're loving the roads right now.
Oh yeah, it was pretty rad driving up north, just not having any traffic going up north and coming back. Hold on, Dave. Hey, NMP people, I love you all so much. I appreciate it, but I'm getting some very important call from the Air National Guard base that I got to get to, and I'm going to have to duck out right now.
All right, just come back if you can.
Welcome to COVID-19. I love you guys. Talk to you later. I got to go. There's an exciting exit, right? All right. See you, Dave.
Later, Dan.
Bye.
Let's see if Danny gets out of there all right. All right, so crazy times within the auto industry. Once again, I don't know if people are just they're holding up buying cars now or what's going on. Once again, like Tim, let's see, there was a chat I wanted to get to while Danny was talking. They definitely forced a guy out. Ford's had all kinds of issues going on, and they are sort of the way I've always seen Ford is they're the leaders of they set trends. And I was excited to see the Bronco. For one thing, I do like the Bronco. I'm not going to lie. I know this is a Nissan podcast, but it was definitely set to take on Wrangler, which Wrangler needs some competition because the new JL is nice, but it wasn't leaps and bounds different from the JK. So maybe this will push Fiat or whatever you want to call the Pinot, whatever they call their business now. Maybe this will push them harder for the next one. And Toyota has to see that Ford was jumping into Bronco, so they're going to change the 4Runner. I don't expect it to be off-road worthy, but they definitely, Toyota does have a big chunk of that market. So usually in that, Nissan would follow along with, and maybe, I did a video talking about could Nissan bring the Terra over to the States, and Danny was real big on calling it the Xterra. I was big on labeling it as like a patrol sport, something like that. Let me get to some of your questions here. And thanks everybody for joining in, man. If you guys would smash that like button. When you do that, and that's only if you do enjoy this content. When you smash that like button, it pushes us up into the analytics and makes people that may not have found the podcast, it does help them find that. So I do appreciate that. Sorry, let's see. Nissan stocks went below 7 last week. Yeah, they're taking a big hit right now. But everybody is. Nissan just seems to be the leader of the pack of that. Let's see. There was one here. The Bronco was supposed to be released like 20 years ago at this point. And then I love Tim. I love your callback. It was OJ. OJ drove it. Wouldn't it be something? This would be the worst marketing idea ever, but here's how you premiere that thing. You bring a white one out, and O.J. Simpson drives that damn thing out there. You talk about, like, shaking up the internets that day, man. That would be freaking wild. Now, they'll never do it because of, clearly there's some bad press with O.J., but I've thought about that for a while. Like, man, they really need to include O.J. in this somehow. Or I would do a damn commercial of showing them going down the 405 whatever in LA in that new one, and just like police chasing it and showing it literally going into whatever convention center, and like you see the helicopter footage just driving, and then it goes through a building, and then all of a sudden it pulls into all the press and stuff. That would be like, and you don't have to even include OJ in that. That would just be epic to me. Let's see, Andrew. The Ford Bronco, honestly love it. We need more U.S.-centric Nissan ads. Nissan ads are coming. I poked the bear a little bit with the previous Sentra ad with Brie Larson from Captain Marvel or whatever it is, and boy, Nissan took a ton of heat on that thing, on that ad. Like, on YouTube, if you look at the thumbs up towards the thumb down, it was like so I don't know, Nissan's new PR, a lady in charge of PR, that may not have been a great move, and of course the timing once again for Nissan is like but I know Nissan has talked, I've heard talk about this within the company, that they're going to push heritage, especially with Truckline, so I'm very curious to see what they do with that. Andrew, let's see. Let me look here. Andrew, thank you so much, buddy. You guys are just way too good to us. I feel like it was the first hit because restaurants... Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Frontier Life. I'm catching up here. I feel like I was the first hit because restaurants didn't shut down for like 3 weeks after I got laid off at my factory. Oh, dude, you got laid off, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, this has been coming for a while. I've seen the housing market slow down here in Middle Tennessee, and usually we were, even during the recession, we were pretty protected because there's all the industry here in Nashville. So sorry, buddy. Let's see. I'll probably stop coming. Looks at Andrew, Ronald. Ronald, speaking of Ronald, you get a shout out in an upcoming video. So we have a new video coming out. My 3-year long-term review of the Frontier, or the Titan, before it goes back, drops this Wednesday. So when you guys see that, if you'd like and subscribe that. And Ronald, you get a shout out at some point in there. I'm just going to leave it to that, but because of everything you've done for the show, man, I do appreciate that. Everybody take care, Danny. The world isn't ending, just one. Yes, we are thinning the herd of sorts. I don't want to be part of that thinning herd, though. What size tires did I have on my old Frontier? Brandon asks. My white Frontier, Betty White, was I had just 265 75 16s. I didn't want to modify that vehicle. I didn't buy that vehicle with the intent of taking it like really a lot of off-roading. It just happened to my Xterra never got finished in time, so I did take it to a couple events and crushed the rear quarter panels in it. So when I bought BF Goodrich KO2s for that thing, the intent was it was just to look cool. It'd be my daily driver, and that was going to be it. But when I did, they are a heavier tire than the, I forget what was on that truck. I don't know if it may still have the BF Goodrich long trails or whatever they put on it. But when I look at tires, and this is something maybe you guys do, maybe you don't. When I look at tires, I look at the factory size tire, and then I start looking at the weight of tires. So you can get on tire discounters or whoever. They're real good about putting the weight of tires. And look at the weight difference of tires once you start putting like a heavier duty all-terrain on or a mud tire. It's ridiculous. And that's all rolling resistance. It takes more to, make them go down the road. So that was part of my thoughts when I bought that truck and put those tires on it. I knew I was going to take a little bit of a hit. Let's see. Do I think OJ would buy the new Bronco? I don't know that OJ can afford to buy much right now. I think he's still looking for the killer of his wife at the golf courses. Let's see. The world's ending. Taylor. Don't doubt it, Dave. 2020. The advertising, yes, baffling. Manzilli, let's see. That ad with Brie the timing was really bad. Yeah, I agree. I just think it was a bad ad. Like, we were told with the new marketing PR team coming into Nissan that we're changing how we advertise things. But I don't feel, and it's nothing against Brie Larson. That's a whole nother issue. I just don't feel like that ad sold me on the car. And I know what they're doing. They showed it backing up and the where it stops on its own if you're going to back into something and all that. But I don't know what it is. Nissan relies heavily on tech to sell cars, and everybody has the same tech now, man. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that was really pushing the envelope, but all these cars have that tech now. Let's see. Tim, thank you for stopping by, buddy. I'm sure you're already gone, but cheers, mofo. Let's see here. What else we got? Joe Taylor, did I see Motor Trend's comparison with all three, with all of the 3-row SUVs, Telluride, Explorer, and one was missing? No, I didn't catch that, Joe. I know. I'm very impressed with the Telluride. I will say that it's a nice vehicle. The only thing with a lot of Kia products, I like a lot of Kia products, but the only problem is their logo is just garbage. I take flack for how much I hate that logo, but I think logos on cars anyways a lot of times are just, and I'm not a de-badger by any means, but Ronald, thank you so much, buddy. Be safe out there, Ronald. Hopefully everything on your cruise ship is well. And Ronald, watch Wednesday. Shout out for you. But the Telluride is an impressive vehicle, but it's not an off-road vehicle. I'm burnt out on seeing ads of whatever Honda sells, the Ridgeline or whatever they are, and they're showing them out off-roading or the CR-V, and I'm so burnt out on that because let's be honest, man. Yeah, it's all-wheel drive, but it's a car. And yeah, you can take some all-wheel drive stuff like that on a little service road or a fire trail or something if you really feel like you needed to engage that. But that Super Bowl ad from 2 years ago with the Telluride, man, every time I think about that, it pisses me off. Have a good night. Bertrand. Yes, wash those hands, boys, gentlemen, and ladies. Everything happened with COVID-19. Are you still planning on taking my Juke to Z1? Z1? Of course I'm planning on taking my Juke to Z1. I was just talking to Spencer about that. So I've got to call Spencer this week about some parts that I want to get on order for the Juke. If you guys haven't yet, if you watched if you watched the video where the weather was nice and I could take the Juke out and rip it a little bit. That car was fun to drive, man. I've driven Zs, I've driven the G35s of the world, I've driven Vets. I had a lot of fun tossing that little car around in corners, man, and I'm lucky I've got some back roads here that you can really sling it around. And the only bummer to me was I needed my lapel mic on there so you could hear in the inside cabin, but you couldn't hear like the little motor just digging, man. I was and I plan on doing some more videos with that, but that little car will shake and bake around them corners, man. I was super happy with that. But hopefully you guys watch that video and let me know what you think in the comments. I'm definitely curious. Let's see. Yes. Well, Andrew. So they simply didn't accentuate the car. They focused on the influence from Brie Larson. I don't know that enough people know who Brie Larson is. It took me a minute to, even when Captain Marvel was coming out, it took me a minute to go, who is this Brie Larson chick? And then I was like, oh yeah, she's in one of my favorite movies of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, or what was it? Scott Pilgrim movie. The title boggles my mind right now, but she was one of the characters in that movie, and I enjoyed her that. I've enjoyed her in a couple movies, but yeah, it's like when she got Captain Marvel, like she brought her politics and all that to it, and the movie was just okay. But I don't know that enough of the America really know who she is. I know that movie did like $1 billion, but I still don't think enough people really know who she is to matter that much. Let's see. Joe Taylor, at least the Brie Larson ad didn't have any words of Nissan's intelligent mobility. I want to say they did mention it at the end. That she didn't, but I want to say there was a sign-off with saying that. Let's see. Ronald, stay safe. Ronald, you're a good man, sir. I don't care what Danny says about you. You're a good man. Frontier Life, nobody has anything on the GTR, though. That remains one bad girl. Andrew, take care, Ronald. Let's see, I have to head out. Brandon, thank you for stopping by, buddy. Agent, we need to do some 0 to 60 polls in the stock juke. Yes, we do, Spencer. We do need. I wish you guys were just like 100 miles closer to me, man, because that juke would be living down there. But I do need to do some 0 to 60 because I want to say, and I mentioned in the video, I think Car and Driver said they were getting 7.5 out of that, which seems a little slow, and I may be misquoting them on that. But let's see. 6 poles, and note how easy the traction is now. Do I think, Joe Taylor, do I think the 2021 Pathfinder could have the VC turbo? The motor that has the CVT is too small for this size of vehicle. Joe, what I've been told, and it's speculation right now because I don't have anything from Nissan to confirm this, but it's either the 3.5 or the new 3.8's going in that thing, and it's going to have a 9-speed transmission in that new Pathfinder. So I do believe people they're quickly to bash on the CVT transmission, and it has damaged the company. You know, we've had 18 years of that transmission in Nissan. It's done its damage to the company. In the lower tier cars, that's fine. Lower tier people don't generally, in my opinion, don't think the quality's like in your Versas or whatever because they're so cheap, affordable. People are like, they assume there's some less quality in it. So the CVT works in that. These Pathfinders and stuff. Like I think Nissan learned their lesson with the Pathfinder when they were showing it. This latest Pathfinder, what was it, 13 when it came out, and they show it towing camper trailers and stuff, and they were instantly, the first 6 months they had all kinds of Pathfinders in the shops for transmission issues because people were trying to tow with that thing. And so I think they've learned their lesson with that the Pathfinder fits somewhere in between the Murano and the Armada. So people expect it to do a little bit, so it needs a real transmission. And I wouldn't be surprised if the new Rogue gets the transmission as well. That's just me talking out of my ass currently, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Andrew, I'm always going to shout out Z1 no matter if you keep giving me the $2 or what, dude. I've been very impressed with Z1. I really have, and just dealing with Spencer has been awesome. They're not a sponsor of the show by any means, though. Have you seen a Z1 ad at the beginning of any of our videos? They do pop up there from time to time, but we're talking some stuff with Wint, and you never know. But I will still talk about any company that I respect a lot, whether it be, my buddies over at White Knuckle Offroad for their rock sliders they build, or my buddies at Nistech Lifts, or there's Driven Desires. There's a lot of companies out there that do Nissan stuff that I respect that I don't mind shouting out at all. Let's see, Marty. I know some other guy that bought a Juke, and I'm sure he's going to build it. Make sure mine is faster. Marty, who's the other guy that bought a Juke? And speaking of that, I've taken all kinds of... So I shared my Juke video on all the Nissan pages, as you do. You're always looking for... I've been amazed that a lot of people goes, yeah, man, it's one of my favorite cars I've ever owned, was in some of the truck pages. They talk about owning a Juke. I regretted selling it. But I took heat on one Xterra page about spamming something and I should know better or something like that. I was like, really, dude? It's Nissan content. I don't know. I thought it was funny. Let's see, Andrew, regardless of the budget, I still think you could have easily... Where are we at? I guess I'm lost here, Andrew. Regardless of the budget, I still think they could have done much more than easily toss. Hey, we have a new update car in. Did I miss something? Oh, I see I missed Kerry Beasley. Let's see. Answered. Okay, there's Spencer. I thought they showcased a lot of features on the Sentra ad. They didn't showcase the looks of the car. Much kind of did the best they could on that Sentra. Yeah, Nissan, Spencer, you know it, man. You go to Nissan, they are stuck in this tech thing. Like Nissan's stuck in 2009. Like they invented tech, and they're, and they do push the envelope with some of the stuff, but they definitely are stuck in tech, man. I do like some of the ads where you see like the family having breakfast, and the dad's about to sit on the cat, and it shows like the car like beeping when you're about to hit something. Those really do work well, and they're internet ads. They're 15-second ads, but I agree with you. I think Nissan's biggest problem with their cars right now is it's hard to showcase cars in commercials when they all look like the same damn car. Like and the Sentra's getting bigger, so the Sentra's getting kind of taking the place. And I was told this, that each car is moving up a level of sorts. So basically, Altima is taking place of Maxima and so on. So it's getting hard to... You see them out on the roads, and I see more Nissans than anybody just being 15 minutes from HQ and another 15 minutes from where they build half these things. I take it for granted, but I'm like, I do have to do double takes of like, what was that? Was that the Altima or the Sentra or what? Let's see, Carrie, I feel the commercial left me confused and didn't make me want to go check out the vehicle. I agree, Carrie. It was a little... pushing, I have no beef with, showcasing, I guess, not your politics, but your social narrative. And they seem to push that a little bit. Once again, I don't care. I mean, I report on Nissan, so I've got to report on that. And I did feel like it was with the spokesperson they use that already has an agenda. The ad with the boss guy kind of being the dick. The girl was kind of meager till she got into the car, and then she comes out as, this badass chick. Yeah, it didn't do much for me either, Carrie. Let's see. Manzelli, I hope the Frontier redesign is badass because the Ranger is really tempting. Have you test drove the Ranger yet? It's not impressive. It's okay. The insides of it, when I was at the Chicago Auto Show, I really spent a lot of time in Ford's booth. And Ford had one of the bigger booths there, so they had their XL, the XT or XLT. I don't remember how they label their trucks, but they had all the ranges of their Rangers there. I wasn't impressed on the inside. Now, I do like the outside of the truck. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Yawning. I do like the outside of the Ranger. I do think it's a good-looking truck. The inside is like... To me, it's 10 years old looking already. And obviously, it's part of it is because it's some of the Australian version, even though it did get a refresh. They were still putting like these tiny 4-inch screens for the radio. And it boggles my mind in times when the Nissan Frontier, the current one, is still the cheapest option, and you get a decent monitor in there, in nice features, XM radio and all that. And the Ford fanboys, I guess they're happy with those little 4-inch screens. And I was in one of is it a Tremor edition, the F250 they do? $60,000. It was over $60,000. F250, beautiful, beautiful truck. I love the electric blue they're using on it. It's just pretty. I got inside in a Ford. It's pretty nice. Plastic everywhere. I mean, like, everywhere in this thing. And every little YouTuber out there that reports on cars bashes Frontier. Oh, look at all the plastic touch everywhere. This $60,000 F250, plastic everywhere, and it had a little 4 or 5 inch monitor in it that was like from 2009. Trips me out. Sorry, getting off my pedestal now. He's not using Z1, Marty. What the hell, man? Is he using 2J or whatever? Let's see. Andrew, you've not seen a Z1 ad. I've seen a few this weekend. Let's see. Andrew ads coming for the product. Friends have asked if I've seen the new Maxima ad with Wonder Woman more than once. That's great. Joe Taylor, did you see Motor One's rendering of the new Rogue? It's at least better than the Frontier rendering. I have not seen that. I'll search for that. Well, here, I'll search for it now. Because I'm curious. They some of their renderings are just. My buddy Tim with Pickup Truck Talk SUVs did it well over a year ago now. He did what he thought the next Frontier would look like. He photoshopped some Titan stuff, and it was pretty cool. A lot of it made sense. That thing that I seen Motor One do of the Frontier especially was a freaking joke. Let's see. Rendering. Let's see. Will it pop up? So I'm assuming you're talking about this rendering. Yeah, that's believable. Everything I know about the Rogue is it's supposed to take influence from the 2020 Juke. Like if you see the way the lights, the way they're doing that. Andrew, thank you, sir. Once again, man, you were too kind. But no, Joe, I have not seen. That was the first time I seen that. It looks pretty good, actually. A lot better than, like you said, a lot better than that. Dave, how do you compare the F-150 trim appointments compared to the Ranger interior? It's a good question, Spencer. I spent a lot of time looking at Ranger because with Nissan and Frontier coming up, I wanted to have a good perspective on that. I've not spent a ton of time in F-150. I did look at the F-250s and 350s when I was in Chicago, but I didn't spend a lot of time with F-150, man. So it's kind of hard to... Clearly, with, like I said, with the Tremor package or whatever, the radio situation was whatever. Ford's interiors have never been impressive to me, and I think it's because they do change over so fast that their design team doesn't get a chance to really work on interiors. Right now, I think some of the best interiors is Ram. Their new 1500s, man, their interiors are nice, but the quality is a bit hit or miss. Shame on me. Sorry, sir. I will go tomorrow and look at an F-150 just for you. Just for you. Let's see. Any other questions there? Where are we at? Sorry, I'm looking at time. Let's see. Yeah, you do have to benchmark the number one volume. I will say for full-size trucks, man, they sell a ton. I like the new Chevrolet Silverado quite a bit. It took me a minute to grow on me. Ram is really hot right now. I really like that truck. The 2020 Titan's a good-looking truck. It was a much-needed facelift, but to me, they just didn't do enough So that's as far as big trucks of what I've kind of paid attention to. Ram right now because that truck's still so new. I've paid a lot of attention to that. Let's see. Joe Taylor, what other car reviewers do I watch on YouTube? Redline reviews? I do watch Redline reviews. Let's see. I watch Redline. I watch, what is it, Ratty or whatever his name is. He's actually from Gallatin, Tennessee. I watch TFL Car and Truck. Clearly, I watch my buddy Tim of Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. I do like Tim's coverage a lot because I like Tim's coverage a lot because he's a fan of trucks and SUVs. So I used to, when I was a kid on this will date me, the Nashville Network. I don't know if any of you guys remember that channel. It turned into Spike TV or whatever it is now. They used to, on Sundays, they had all kinds of car shows on. And this is way before the Ian and all those guys were building stuff. But they used to have Car and Driver on there a lot. And the guy still does stuff for Car and Driver. He's got to be old now. But they had a host that would do that. And I like the way they do that. Or they were used to do those in the late 80s, early 90s. So I see some of these guys try to emulate that, which kind of... all YouTubers emulate each other at some point. But I've seen some people really trying to emulate that. So I like Tim's perspective of how Tim is an enthusiast, and he does like show his passion for the vehicles. Like he does like, clearly I've hung out with Tim. He loves trucks and SUVs, man. So the YouTubers I'm usually kind of drawn to are people that really show their passion for it. TFL Truck, I do watch those guys a lot. I've grown to like Andre a lot, even though the Russian accent sometimes is not off-putting, but just, I don't know, it takes me out of it a little bit. Can't think of, his name, just the bald-headed guy they have over there, man. He's a big Nissan guy. Nathan. I like watching Nathan a lot, man. Like, he's, to me, another kind of, he's more of an enthusiast than, I won't say auto journalist because they are. But he shows the enthusiast side a lot. Let's see, who else do I watch? Savage Geese. I love Savage Geese. The guy's dry. He's very Midwestern dude. His videos are like the benchmark of anything I could, like, he's my benchmark of how to do videos. And I don't have the equipment they do, nor the cinematographic, if I said that right. I don't have the abilities he does to film things that way. But Savage Geese is probably my number one guys I like watching. Because they throw the cars on a lift too. They don't just drive it. They do drive them and they'll talk about them, but they put them up on a lift so you can see under the vehicle a lot. So I do like that a lot. Let's see. I'm stuck on just vloggers too. Casey Neistat I watch a lot of. Peter McKinnon I watch a lot of. The Stradman. I just love that kid's passion for cars. Like, it's just, it gets me excited to want to like go tinker in my garage, man. And I mean, how can you not like Lamborghinis? So that's a few of them. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. Frontier Life. Personally, the new trucks don't draw me in. I'd still buy an older Frontier or Xterra, even older Titans. I prefer them over the new ones. The original Gen 1 Titan was very unique, and I liked it. I really did like it. I think had they refreshed the tack in that truck to get it out of the early 2000s, they could have sold more. It's my beef with Armada right now because it has the same cluster that the Gen 1 Titan had. That orange display just takes me out, and that's the number one reason why there's not an Armada sitting in my driveway right now. I talk a little bit about this in Wednesday's video. It just takes me out of that vehicle. So I do like the only thing I like the column shifter on the Gen 2s. I know a lot of Gen 1 Titan guys were pissed off when they took that away. I like it. It frees up the space, man. There's so much space in that Gen 2 that I really like that. Let's see. Joe Taylor, Nathan from TFL does have a Pathfinder. Yes, he does. And Nathan is a Nissan guy. He does like Nissans. And he's not been shy about it. I mean, I don't think they're probably his favorite vehicles ever, but he's not shy about talking about his love for Nissan. See, Andrew grew up a Chevy guy. Will always loved the Z71s. But after getting to know the Nissan a little bit more, I really like them trucks as well. Still never been in a Titan. Only seen the Z1 Warrior concept. If you've seen the Warrior, you've seen a Titan. Titans, I've said it many times, what sold me on the Gen 2 Titan was on the interior. I love the interior of that truck. I think the refresh they did on 2020 really sold me on it. Once again, the tan color, I like that on that. The LED lights, I'm like, eh. The tail lights I really like. And if you want to upgrade your Gen 2 Titan, go see my buddies at Z1 Offroad. You can buy those headlights now if you want to upgrade your older Titan to look like the newer Titans. And Spencer, if you're still on here, I love this, man. I was looking at your website today. I was looking at z1offroad.com, and just I like to curious, every once in a while, just kind of see what all the vendors that I like dealing with are, new on their sites. And a couple of weeks ago, somebody on one of the Facebook forums was like, "Hey, man, I really want to buy that cell phone holder for my Titan." And he's like, "Does anybody know where I can buy it?" And at the time, I was like, "Well, just hit up a dealer, man. Like, it's an OEM part. Nobody's like that quick to make a phone holder for that center stack." And then I think he came back and said he was quoted like $200 or something for it, something ridiculous. Probably retail of it. And then I seen today that you guys actually have that on your website for like $63, $66, something like that. So if I can ever find that post, I'd definitely link him to you guys. I thought that was kind of fun. But Z1 Offroad guys, once again, not paid sponsorship by any means, but their website, go check it out, Z1 Offroad. If you're a truck guy, they have a ton of content. They have a ton of OEM products. They have some used products, so you can find used parts every once in a while. Really cool. Let's see. What is up with the Xterra roof rack behind me, Marty? You talking about this? The wind flare? Let's see. See if you can see this, Marty. This was given to me by Miss Carrie Beasley at last year's Windrock. And they had everybody sign it. See if you can put it up there just a second. See if you can see it. They had everybody sign it, and it is actually going to go on the wall behind me when I kind of get my final thoughts about how I want to. This is all going to change at some point, but when I get my final thoughts of how I'm going to piece the studio together, it's going to go back there. So, Carrie Beasley, Z1 is awesome. Yes, they are. And I was so impressed, Carrie, when I was in their offices, and they've got 4 or 5 people answering phone calls at all times. They've got quality next door to them, checking what those people, making sure everything goes to the warehouse to pull parts and stuff. It's literally like a little Amazon. Their warehousing is nuts. How like they have the little scanners. They scan the parts, box it. They're even building parts back there. They were building some. I forget, Spencer, what y'all were building when Andrew. They were building some parts for Z's when I was back there too, which I like. They actually build parts, and they're big into 3D modeling. So things that they're coming out with, I think it was an exhaust system that they had 3D modeled, and so they could literally bolt it under the car, make sure all the fitment's right before they start building these. Very impressed with those guys. I can't say enough about that. And even if like, I don't know, even if I didn't like them, after seeing their process, man, how could you not like them? So if you're in the Georgia area, go see their showroom. Let's see, Andrew. Let's see. Sorry, I'm scrolling back up, guys. Let's see, Andrew, Z1. Zebras have made me feel more okay about Dad with the garage. Yeah, the Zebras guys, man, that's a good follow on YouTube. Dude's a killer drifter, and I like that you kind of get to see how he's progressed. Joe Taylor says Savage Geese is amazing. Love the skits. Yes, I do. The latest Savage Geese, man, where he had underwear over his face, like he was like his ventilator thing. That was hilarious. I hope they were new. Andrew, fat fingers, spell check kind of guy. Out of 96, it was such a thrill. Z1 is awesome. Oh, Andrew, make sure you find a twin turbo. Z1 has a couple twin turbo Zs in there. I think they were both not originally twin turbos though, ZXs. But anyways, let's see. I got a few more minutes here, guys. And thank you for everybody hanging out. Let's see, we got 10 viewers right now, 11 likes. We were up to 16, 18 viewers at one point. Carrie, and they're doing off-road parts, man. I know Spencer's been looking for Xteras and stuff, because they wanna build some, and they've questioned me about common things that go wrong with them. So they're interested in making your Xterra better as well. Let's see, Frontier Life. It's cool anyways. As fast as my TT. So you had an Audi TT, Frontier Life. I love that Gen 1 of that car, man. And I have a buddy that was given one of those. This has been like 7 years ago, but they couldn't get it running. This guy, they put it up for sale. It didn't run. He was a mechanic. He went and looked at the car, and I forget, they couldn't come to terms on a price. Like a day later, they called and told him to come pick the car up, and they gave it to him. That's something stupid simple that he fixed, and he had a nice Audi TT for a few years. Let's see. Joe Taylor, have you ever met Nissan designers Diane Allen? I have not. I've not met any of. I take it back. I can't remember the guy I met at Titan Adventure. Marty, you might remember his name. He's the guy that did the refresh on the. He was the Indian gentleman. He was the guy that did the refresh of the 2020 Frontier. He was the lead. I won't say he's a. Maybe he's lead engineer on it. I can't remember one of the things. He definitely, what bothered me about him was he wasn't a truck guy. And I know it happens. I mean, you're a designer, you get kind of stuck where you're at. But the dude, it was clear he was a car guy, and he was super nice. We had a great conversation, but I wasn't impressed with him as about being a truck guy. Let's see. But no, I'm working my way to talking to some of those people, Joe. I lost a good connection in my Nissan world, and I'm building some new relationships. And I have connections everywhere within but I had one solid connection that could get me into things like that. Let's see. Marty, very nice, and it's awesome. I missed the mood lights you had a couple weeks back. Let's see. Marty, you do need a trip to Z1. Marty, you're talking about. Did they come on? These mood lights, Marty? I don't know. Maybe. I feel like I'm in some weird movie with these. We'll see if this works, Marty. Let's see if this is what you were talking about. God, those are horrible. What are you doing to me, Marty? Yeah, that's not going to work. Sorry, Marty. Those lights were a bad idea. Let's see. I got time for a couple more questions here. Yes, Marty, dude, I'm telling you, man. Like, Z1's like in the middle of Georgia, too. It's like, it's kind of the Atlanta area, but it's not. Let's see. All right, a couple more. Fairly curious. I need Z1 Offroad to come up with a flywheel for the SC Xterra. Carrie, call Z1 tomorrow and talk to Spencer. They may have an option for you on that. Let's see. Yes, Z1 Offroad and Z1. Clearly, Spencer's going to shout out his YouTube channels for the company. But they are, like, they just released some really cool videos. The one with the 350Z and 300Z today or yesterday I saw was a really cool video. Let's see. Carrie, what is it? See, I told you, Carrie. Spencer's there, man. You call Spencer tomorrow, man. They got the part for you. Let's see. Before everyone leaves, please visit please visit my channel, subscribe, please. It would mean a lot. Frontier Life, am I subscribed to you? I don't mind subscribing to anybody. I definitely will subscribe to you, sir. Wait, I don't know. I'm getting lost. You guys are like talking amongst yourself there. Andrew, once again, dude, you are damn trip, man. Thank you so much. And I would say Z1 no matter if you did that or not. Like I said, let's see. Boring questions. Joe, I don't mind doing these questions at all because, for one, when I talk to you guys like in this, it gives me thoughts for future video ideas. It shows me... All right, let's get it go. It shows me kind of things that you guys are interested in and kind of helps direct the pirate ship as it be to content. And thank you guys for being a part of this. We are at 1265 subs right now. The beginning of the year, I was still under 1,000. I mean, I'm not growing like as fast as we could, but the channel is growing. And when you guys, seriously, when you like and subscribe to these things, it helps fund everything we're trying to do with this. And even if you find a video boring, let it play, please. It does, like, watch time matters. Everything matters with YouTube to keep us in your eyes. So I do appreciate everything everybody has done. Let's see. Cornetti Motorsports just subbed, and he's number 11. Can't wait to check out your stuff. And Jeff there, Cornetti Motorsports. Go sub to his channel, man. Jeff does some cool content as well. Spencer is the man. We had the opportunity to chat with him. No affiliation, just lives. Andrew is a huge supporter of Z1, man. Andrew. Oh, Andrew, we got to talk. So we have a couple things as I wind this down. A couple things I'm looking to do. I'm looking for a writer. We have a blog on our web address, or NissanNationPodcast.com. I've wrote a couple blogs on it, little things. I'm looking for somebody once a month to write a couple paragraphs on a topic of Nissan. Direct message me. We'll talk about what I'm going to pay for those. But I'm looking for some content besides my thoughts. I'm looking for some... it's a once a month thing. In that, definitely Andrew's been real nice about talking about how to work the system here and make things better. My buddy Tim with Pickup Truck Talk SUVs, like we're a small channel, but I wouldn't even be as large as we are right now without Tim's help, because he's been very instrumental in guiding me on, hey, you need to do this. This will get you, into people's eyes and stuff. Plus, all you guys have been awesome, man. I really do. I look forward to Sundays just getting to talk some Nissan with you guys. I really do. There's a couple more here. Frontier Life, yes, man. Please stay safe, everybody. Spencer's the man. Frontier Life, I will look. I'm gonna do it right now, or else I'll forget about it. And I do not mind doing a sub at all. Let's see. Frontier Life. Oh, you got 13 subs now, buddy. I just subbed to you. Let's see. Tim has been gold, and I know Jeff. He's helped you quite a bit too. And it's nice to find some people in the field that really, there's plenty of YouTube for everybody, man. And Tim's been nice enough to lend me his time, and we've talked on the phone for an hour or so at a time, like just help and guide me. So I really do appreciate that. Andrew, thank you, sir. I've got experience writing. Would love to collab with you. Frontier Life, direct message us on the best place is. You can find our email address on the website, or just direct message me on Facebook. And basically what I'm looking for is some writing examples. If you want to write something, a couple paragraph thing about Nissan, whatever you want to talk about Nissan, submit it, and then we'll, clearly I'm an okay writer, but not great, which is why I'm looking for a writer. But let's see, as we wind this down, when is the Titan 3-year video going to be up? You want to be first to watch. So, the 3-year video pops Wednesday at 10:30, I believe. Yes, I believe I set it for 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Only here on YouTube. And once again, if you like the content, smash that button, smash the like. If you guys would share the content too, it's hard for me because sometimes I share the content and it's just repetitive. It's like, oh, that guy's sharing more Nissan Nation Podcast content again. But sometimes when it comes from different people, it helps. I want to say shout out too, as I wind this down, to my Juke buddies. We've grown. I've picked up probably 20 subs since I started doing Juke content. Basically, it's Juke people out there, finding the channel. So, and that's the idea by us switching vehicles every so often, is to find new people that, there's centric content out there that I'm sure would pick up a bunch of people. So, I do want to say thank you for that. Let's see. Videos, I see those. Yeah, so Marty, when you watch the opening of our the video, you see the barn doors open. Marty, who was with you, Marty, when we did that? So Marty and them were behind those doors, and I was like, man, if you guys could pull, or maybe it was Danny, or maybe it was you, Marty. I can't remember who had the idea of me and Danny walking through those doors, and they just automatically open and stuff. That was awesome, and it's an awesome way that you're a part of the channel, man. Let's see. So yes, let's see. Content, Marty, Andrew. Let's see. Throw the dog a bone. Jeff, I'm subscribed to you, right? I'm pretty sure I am. See your videos. Jeff, as I end this, what is your new channel? You said you got some dirt bike stuff you're wanting to start promoting. Pop that down there so everybody can do that. And let's see. Well, it'll pop up in a minute, but from all things Nissan here in my office. Oh, wait. How's Kelly Juke driving? Has she killed the clutch? Kelly's not drove the Juke yet, sir. And Kelly probably won't drive the Juke because she ate a clutch up in my G35. And I think after that, she was like, I'm kind of done with driving stick. Soupy Socks Adventures. Nice. And lawnmower racing. I look forward to watching that, Jeff. So if you guys, thank you for posting your stuff up, guys. I don't mind sharing my stream with you guys at all. But as I wind this down, from all things Nissan here in my office to yours, got a bunch of videos coming, guys. Let's see. I've got a walk around of Kelly's Xterra coming. I've got a walk around of my Xterra coming. I've got 2 Titan videos coming. I've got the 5 things that I like and dislike about my Nissan Titan coming in the next couple weeks. I've got a new Frontier video coming about the 5 things that Nissan needs to have in that thing. And wherever else the world takes us, man. So, oh, you're welcome, Marty. So from all things Nissan here in my office to wherever you're watching us around the globe, this has been your Nissan Nation Podcast, and I'm your host, David Boyd, and sometimes Danny when the military doesn't call. And we're out. Peace, everybody. Thank you guys for all the love and the chat revenue and all this stuff, guys. It means a lot to me, and it's going to really fund the podcast. Thank you so much. Peace.